First, good to see y'all.
You talked about tariffs and farmers' reaction to them. The promise that, in 3-4 years, the promise from the president, they'll have a prosperous economy.
Yeah.
How do you help them through? In the meantime, last time there was a lot of support in actual subsidies to farmers. Is that an option now? How big could that be?
Yeah, thank you for the question on tariffs. There's no doubt, and I've said multiples of times, I've talked to now at this point hundreds of farmers across the country in the last 30 days since I was sworn in. The number one question almost every single time is the tariffs and how that's going to affect a very difficult farm economy right now. And my answer is this. The first is that the president is very focused on realigning the American economy to better serve all Americans. Second, the farmers understood when they supported President Trump. He's always talked about tariffs, whether it was 2015, 2016, 2019, 2020, and again, 2023 and 2024. They supported him in 80, 90% numbers. So they understand his vision, but also understand there may be some short-term challenges with that, certainly in this current farm economy. But the third thing I'll say is the president on the front end is very focused on what this will do to our farming community, but also has tasked me that as we move forward, similar to the first term, that we have some programs in place that would potentially mitigate any economic catastrophes that could happen to some of our farmers if in fact this moves forward and some of our farmers are significantly hurt.
Is that
Thank
the
you.
direct payments?
We're working that out right now. Yes, ma'am.
Secretary Rollins, Edwards All with Lindell TV. Do you have a message for some of the children that visited yesterday who said they're appreciative of the honey bun cost being down right now?
Well, listen, the president, when he was running and was elected, from my perspective, on a mandate from the American people, he ran on a lot of different messages and a lot of different promises. But for me, as I was sort of, running an outside organization and that certainly have supported him and known him for a long time, the two key issues I think he focused on that really resonated with Americans was first, securing the border, and second, bringing down the cost of food. And so all of the children that were here yesterday, it was an amazing education event, but also these families who under Joe Biden have been struggling to put food on the table. I think we'll see those costs continue to come down. Of course, I have been very focused on egg prices in the last month especially, and we've seen those come down too. Listen, the market is a tricky thing. We'll see what the numbers look like. We've got another big report coming out, I think on Monday, then the next big report comes out the following Friday, and we'll continue to watch that. But this president is in it for the long term. And that's the blessing, frankly, of working for him, is that, a lot of times in politics, it's like short term. We're going to make this decision to keep these people happy. But he is doing this to completely restructure the American economy for all Americans. And that's a long-term play. So thank you.
Secretary Rollins, you mentioned that the U.S. will start importing some eggs from South Korea and another undisclosed country. How many eggs are we talking? And can you name the other countries?
Right now, we've got Turkey and South Korea importing eggs. Just yesterday, I talked to a couple of other countries that will soon begin importing. We haven't signed that deal yet, so I don't want to say who it is. We are talking in the hundreds of millions of eggs for the short term. So not insignificant, but significant enough to help continue to bring the prices down for right now. And then when our chicken populations are repopulated and we've got a full egg laying industry going again, hopefully in a couple of months, we then shift back to our internal egg layers and moving those eggs out onto the shelf.
What's the status of bird flu and its impact on chickens?
Well, the good news is part of the 5-point plan we laid out about a month ago. The most important thing to control the bird flu, the avian flu epidemic that has been raging through our egg layers for almost 2 years now. This really started about 2 years ago. Is that the most proven way to solve for that is through biosecurity measures. And what that means is locking down your barns. The number one prong on our plan was to invest a significant amount of money to do audits across the country, to have USDA help these egg laying companies to secure their barns. And since we began doing that most recently, we've seen a significant decline in the bird flu. Thank y'all so much. Good to see everybody.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Thank y'all so much.